Hello. I think we're here. I think we're fine. It's been a while. 2 weeks. Honestly, I really 2 weeks feels so far apart versus just like one feels like the next day to me, especially being busy with work and stuff. 2 weeks just feels like a month went by. You know? Yeah. Um. No news. Nothing crazy. Uh. We're already a little bit late, so okay. If you just want to give us a recap, we can start.
Sure thing. So, we started last session where we were honoring the dead. That's where the session title came from. Um, we were getting ready to go. We had rested a little bit. We arrived very late the night before. There's some chat back and forth, but we were in a lot of pain. We watched them perform the I don't even know if it's really burial funeral rites. There we go.
Well,
For the first scale. And then we left the roost and we headed back to our extraction point. We made it back unimpeded, which was great and nice. Actually, before that, they showed us the artifact that they were holding. Unfortunately, not before Lilith almost took herself out by trying to commune with the spirits in the area, hopefully to meet the first scale, and instead communed with the dragon soul that was in the sword, which was the artifact we didn't know about. Titan and Roz, I believe, snapped her out of that, and we were shown what the artifact was. So we'd be able to adequately, I guess, defend against for it, uh, and also reminded that it was uh, still very active. Gildarian the Greedy, who is the golden dragon tyrant, um, had a way with trying to get into people's heads, and if he could convince people, it's what he tried to do. Anyways, when we were back at camp, um, there was a lot of resting, bathing, a little bit of tomfoolery. Um, let's see. We gave our debriefing. We showed up just in time for the sit rep. We got 10,000 silver pieces, which was delightful. Let's see. There was some information. Lotus gave Titan a bit of an update. Audie talked to her mom. Um, there is going to be a group of survivors that should be arriving soon. And there's possibility that there's going to be word of Audie's father, and Isabel's not sure she's ready for that. Yeah. And then I guess Roz went to the Bastion, talked with Lucilla to have a dance, because she missed out on actually spending time with the Bastion when the Sail Circus was in town. Sorry. Star's Spectacular Circus?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Thought I was missing a word there. Anyway. And the rather how do I put this nicely? Bullheaded decision to challenge Lucas to a fight, or Lucius to a fight in 1 year. Because what could go wrong in 1 year? Then in the evening, I guess we rounded up the session with Audie's taking the present of tea to Covert and having some conversation and some banter, and possibly understanding how gossip works in the big world and not in a town where there is a tavern and not much else to do. That's kind of where we ended.
All right. Does anybody have anything they want to add?
Nope. That sounded good to me.
Same. I agree. If there is nothing to add, we'll just begin. We ended the last session along with that day's activities, and people went to bed. and time kind of trickles on. You came back from a difficult mission. You were afforded an opportunity to rest. Covert has not brought forth any missions immediately. A lot of the camp is spending time preparing to welcome in what is going to be close to about 200 to 300 refugees, according to the reports from the League of Phantoms. So things are a little quiet right now. In which case, as I mentioned earlier, everyone is afforded 3 days of downtime to do with whatever you want. Could be character interactions, can purely be spent on crafting. You could go work odd jobs to earn some more silver on the side. Whatever you want to do to your heart's content. Does anybody want to just start with that? Anybody has thought some ideas up?
I had a couple ideas, and it starts with me asking,
Mm-hmm.
hey Ben, how close is Roz's full plate?
Well, I was about to speak up and say that if Titan goes nose to the grindstone, he can probably finish in these 3 days.
Right, because Roz is going to help out with that.
Yeah, let's team up.
Fair.
Let's get your plate finished. I think this would be the phase at which he would be talking to Roz about it anyways, for design purposes.
Well, of course, we got to make sure it's glorious silver and gold enough.
Exactly.
Yeah, we didn't have any additions either, any modifications to it. Just good
Not at this
old
time.
reliable plate mail.
Titan will probably be modifying it in the future, but we just want to get some good old glorious plate mail. You know, beyond, customizing colors and stuff like that.
Of course.
That's a relatively easy process.
Other than that, Roz was going to do some purchases from the war profiteers. Sorry, the Gilden Rose. You and ICJ already talked about the prices for those, so I'll spare you all the math and just say Roz spent a lot of her money, but she bought, in order of least important to most important, level 1 potion of healing, potion of climbing, circlet of blasting, and boots of striding and springing.
Oh, very nice.
Because I had so much fun showing off the hops in the last mission that now I want to have a 30-foot leap. Standing leap.
Very Baldur's Gate of you.
Very.
We should maybe also talk about the new 2024 jump. Because
is it different? Spell?
Yes, it's significantly better.
It's really good.
Like the other one was good, but like weirdly niche. This is good for everybody. Like before, it was just like, oh yeah, for those of you that can already jump, it makes you jump really well. If you can't jump, I mean, you can jump now. It's improved, but now like everybody can essentially do a big 30-foot leap, and it doesn't consume your movement.
Wow.
Yeah, as a bonus action. Again,
it's great.
Wow.
Very Baldur's Gate.
Yes, that is quite Baldur's Gate.
But yeah, I'm a fan of it. I think it's a significantly better spell than it was.
Otherwise, Roz is going to be spending time with Lilith, spending time with,
as one do,
spending time with her family, spending time with the Bastion, especially, and desperately trying to convince Lucilla to please, 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 if you at all have the ability, can you teach me how to cook? I know it would take a lot of patience, but you are a saint.
I guess if there's anybody to ask. All right. Just so we have a more firm understanding, given that Titan's inevitable direction is going to take him to the Forge. in order for Titan to benefit from Roz's help, Roz has to be there either for every 2-hour increment that Roz wants to provide help to.
Mm-hmm.
So, how much time do you want to dedicate to helping Titan at the forge versus how much time do you want to spend learning how to cook? Because more or less, it's gonna the same amount of time sink.
For all practical and mechanical purposes, Roz's hands are for assisting Titan for as much as he wants, and the rest is for learning how to cook.
Okay, the buck has been passed to you, Ben.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Titan, again, just based on rules of D&D, has about 16 hours a day, and then has to spend 8 hours resting. But 10 of those hours a day is going to be spent making this armor. That's what he needs to do.
Okay.
And I mean, if he'll adjust if things aren't going well, but he can spend a bit more time if things don't go well. However, yes, the plan is to do about 10 hours a day forging.
All right. And in the other hours?
The other hours will be spent. He'll have his meals, spend time with Lotus, and I also plan for him to do about 2 hours of reading a day as well.
Okay. All easily trackable. Very nice.
Yeah. Unfortunately, not very roleplay heavy. We're probably going to burn through.
That's okay.
These 3 days as far as Titan's concerned.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, that was sort of my goal. I kind of want to do a few more of these than not, because I think it gives you all an opportunity to actually use the crafting system to finish things, so that way you can benefit from it more. Also a chance to spend time, even if it is just like time skipping things, to like do little side hustles, which might gain you some favor amongst other factions and things of that nature. You know, like going crab hunting with the Bastion, for instance.
Like, Titan would love to build up some more rapport with the Red Cross company, but his priority is Ross's plate mail right now.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, like I said, we'll have plenty of time to keep playing with this. All right. Well, it sounds like we got Roz and Titan's 3 days sort of figured out. We have a bunch of rolls to make there. But let's just keep going down the list so that way I can kind of structure things in my head and orient things as necessary. Melody or Lilith, who wants to go next?
I can go. Well, first thing on the morning is that Lilith is gonna sit down, talk with Callista and Bellathor, and get cracking at that suggestion that maybe they should work on some kind of defense system or anything that could protect her from all the bad things she's opening herself up to. She's not exactly sure how that's gonna work. She's assuming it's some kind of magic or potion or alchemy or anything.
All right. So you can essentially we're gonna sort of just like turn it into a bit of a crafting situation, which is you're gonna spend the day theory crafting with the two of them, essentially. I'm gonna have you roll an Arcana check and an Alchemy tools check, to sort of help figure out everything. Then based off of your success versus failure, is essentially how long it's going to take for you to, with this plan you've created, figure out a countermeasure for the time being.
That's good. Assuming the fact that it is taking, the entire day brainstorming, that she'll have time to switch her proficiencies as needed.
Yeah.
So she can do that as a short rest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you could spend a portion of the day, of course, bonded with Callista, and the other portion of the day bonded with Bellathor.
Should I just roll those right now?
Let's hold off for now. Do you have anything else planned? I know you were sort of tossing around ideas in the Discord earlier.
The other thing that she would have would be well, Titan and Roz are working at the forge, so might as well ask them if they happen to have a couple spare hours if they could craft some bracers.
Titan has to make the plate. Roz could probably sub out for like 3 hours, I think is what it takes to make bracers. I'm on it right now.
4 hours. It's 2 checks.
4 hours, 2 checks. Yeah. I think Titan could do without Roz for 2 checks.
Hmm.
Yep. I mean, Ross helping is convenient, but
and there is at least enough
doing his thing.
Additional time in the 3 days that even if there's a couple fail checks in there because of Roz leaves, there's still more time to make up for it too.
Yeah, exactly.
And if she has the spare time still, she will draw her blood to make her certified homemade magic ink.
Mm-hmm.
Homegrown, if you would.
Yeah, I hate it, but yeah.
And then she'd go ask Covert if he knows anyone who happens to know the spell she needs that might be willing to exchange a favor for a scroll.
That's fair.
It's on the Ranger and Inventor list. It's not a huge option pool.
No, not really. But you'll get two easy options. I feel like the obvious choice is going to be the White Cross Company. Explicitly, Captain Silver actually is somebody of ability enough, but Covert would also tell you that there are also there's another one or two of people under her command that also could work their way through the spell. Just might take them a little bit more time to write into a scroll. Given that their skill sets they know the spell, but are not particularly skilled at scribing scrolls, versus Silver is good at both. So you could go to White Cross Company, and or you could, as you mentioned earlier, get bought out by the Gilden Rose, where he does say, in the worst case scenario, you could always go have it made at a probably steep cost.
That's her last choice.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a full first day for her.
Pretty full.
Prepping for her craft and doing all that.
Yep. Okay. Last but not least, Melody.
Yeah. So we're just covering the first day then.
You cover whatever you have information for. It helps me block things out.
Okay, so I will spill the thoughts and ideas, and I will interrupt you if those thoughts and ideas change based on things that we go through.
Mm-hmm.
So to start with, Audie would probably convene with everybody if she can in the morning before everybody kind of runs off. She would that would probably be day 2 actually. Day 1 she would be helping her mom, kind of settling back into camp, getting the what's what, hearing gossip from other people that isn't her mom, kind of see what's going on around camp. That evening, I think there would be performance of the Black Butterfly. I think probably for all 3 days, there's going to be a performance unless something would otherwise waylay her.
Mm-hmm.
The other things that she has interest in would be, and this is what I was going to say with day 2, she would be brainstorming during the first day about ideas of the kind of spells that she could be learning. She found that she was a little ineffective. She wasn't helping a whole lot, other than a few pot shots. And so she would present some ideas that she's had to the team and see what they think as far as what should she focus her energy on to figure out how to cast. And then as far as those, what did you call them? Micro missions? No.
Yeah, just side gigs.
Side gigs, yeah. Because I don't know how apparent it would be. People had said that Viren's changed a bit, like appearance-wise, and much more noticeable, I think, than the first time she had tried to talk to him. basically if there's no large missions happening, if he's sticking around and if he's doing any of the side gigs, she would kind of tag along with him. And if there's no side gigs, like if he's just spending the time with his kids, she's probably still going to try and have that kind of conversation, be like, you look a bit different since I last saw you, kind of idea. So
for what it's worth,
she can,
he is outside of the camp currently on mission.
Okay.
He left. He left with his group that he's been tagging along with around the same time you guys left.
Right, and we were only gone one day, so I guess that would be the third day when he's back. The fourth day.
We don't know when he'll be back, but
yeah, she'll be keeping an eye out for him when he comes back.
Of course.
Yeah. Otherwise, she thinks she has her hands full helping her mom, helping Lotus, checking in on Aladade.
Okay. All right. I think let's get the easy stuff out of the way. There's a bunch of dice rolls that need to be made. So let's start with Titan and the plate mail.
All right.
And essentially say whenever you're going to send Roz away.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Laws can let me know. First check is a 19, which I think is a success.
I believe it is. I think it's a 17 you're looking to beat.
Yes, that is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Check 2 for the day. It's a 22.
Oh, yeah. 2 successes.
I'll have Roz make the braces in the first day, so do the next 2 without advantage.
Okay, can do. Check number 3 is 24.
Mm-hmm. 3 successes. You can't be stopped.
Number 5 is 25.
Wow. Yeah. 4 successes.
Worked out really, really well. Okay, that's 5 for today. That's the full 10 hours. Yeah, so that's him done for the day.
Okay. Roz, roll your 2 checks for the brazers.
All right. First one is a 17. DC is 13. Second one is not high enough, but I'm gonna go ahead and spend the inspiration. Why not?
Yeah, why not? You totally won't need it.
That's better. That did make 13, but that's good enough. Braces are made.
Nice.
She thought something was going to go wrong, and then she just thought of Lilith and how amazing she'd be in these bracers. And she forced her way through it.
Yeah, it gets an inscription now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what does the inscription say?
It says, "For the fire in my heart."
Aww. For being put on the spot, that's pretty nice.
I'm gonna make them black so they match her aesthetic.
Doable. I mean, I think for most aesthetic things, especially when it comes to just colors and things of that nature, you have an inventor in the party. You guys can make your magic items look like anything you want them to look like, as long as they still perform their function. You know,
Flavor is free.
Again,
Hooray.
Yeah, perks of an inventor.
Thanks, CJ.
Yeah, no problem. Titan just needs to go, oh yeah, no problem. I can do that. All right. Well, I mean, we've sort of started day 1 stuff, I guess, at this point. So Titan and Roz are busy crafting. So Lilith, you're doing some theory crafting with Belethor and Callista and buying some components.
Yes.
What do you want to start with?
Let's start with the theory crafting. Just go in order of what she did the day.
Okay. Then who would you start with, Callista or Belethor?
We'll start with Callista.
Okay. Make an Arcana check.
Not great. I'm going to re-roll that. It's better. 19 total.
19 is sufficient. Yeah, like I said, you start off the 2 hours, sort of talking to Callista, about the effects of mind-altering magic, talking about enchantments and things of that nature, the various types that she's experienced and heard about, and sort of talking closer and towards the ghost aspect, things of the afterlife and how they are attempting to find like a physical anchor for themselves to attach to. So the fact that you carry an item with you that literally draws ghosts to you to do so means that you are in the greatest of dangers of being possessed against your will. And not every ghost will be as polite as Callista was to give you back your body without any fuss. And so, in that vein, the initial concept is looking towards enchantment magic, and trying to find methods that'll help reinforce that. So you can then either follow up the next check with either sticking with Callista to continue focusing on the magical side of it, or you could immediately jump to Bellathor and see if, with Bellathor's knowledge, if there isn't a type of potion that can be brewed that would help you in instances such as that to repel mind-altering effects or possession.
I think she wants to try to get equal input from both, so she'll switch.
Okay.
Alchemy tools?
Actually, nature. Nature is the first one.
Nature.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know what I said earlier, but I did mean nature.
Same modifier.
Neat.
18 on this one.
Sufficient. Yeah, and this is where you've used Bellathor to make potions and stuff, and he's very very well versed in this area, and you're able to see another little glimpse into his expertise, talking about how lots of ingredients and reagents used to make potions. Everything is extremely volatile, and that one ingredient can either be extremely helpful or beneficial, but when combined with another one can turn into a very deadly poison. But then he kind of goes on a small kind of like, nerd rant talking about how many plants have mind-altering effects. And most of the time, people will always shun them because the plant as itself is extremely dangerous to take. But using that in conjunction with several others that will help mitigate the negative side effects but boost up the positive ones can create something that more or less will create a altered mind state that will protect you, hypothetically, against something that would try to alter your own mind from the outside. Basically, beat them to the punch is the concept that Bellathor is kind of driving at with the potion. The problem is that the potion will always have a duration. The times will vary. He says you could make one that lasts a minute, you could make one that lasts an hour, and you could even make one that lasts a full 24 hours. It would just require more time and ingredients to make one with a longer duration. However, it does not stop the problem at hand if you don't have it and then are possessed. Then you have it, but then it's just sitting there. And of course, the ghost is not going to go, well, let me just drink this random potion on this person.
I think her follow-up question, to that would be, would it be effective if somebody forced her to drink it afterwards?
To simplify this, it would allow you to re-roll the save on the possession. So, yes.
Lilith's line of thinking there being that it might be worth preparing some of those and giving them to the party in case the worst happens.
It is a choice. In which case, a low duration one would be good as a, emergency button given to somebody else. The problem is Lilith, being the type of character she is, if something takes over Lilith's body and it doesn't want to get caught, everyone else is going to have a hell of a time trying to stop her.
Yeah. Maybe
Rogue
whoever's
stuff.
possessing her won't realize her body knows how to bonus action dash.
It really depends on the possessor at that point. I'm sure it'll be fun.
Scooby-Doo chase scene.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that like each of these takes like 2 to 4 hours of just like thinking through things.
Correct. Each check, like I said, we're just kind of doing a jury rigged crafting thing. Each check is 2 hours basically. So like right now, you're just you're talking out ideas.
Taking notes.
Yeah. Essentially, what you would do is you've done one check in each direction, and you've gotten concepts and ideas. You can at any point continue to make another check on either side to continue pursuing that idea, to either refine it or maybe find another idea. Or you can take that idea and then begin making checks in the direction towards attempting to create something that will fulfill the need and the idea that you've come up with.
I think she will, for now, switch back to Callista and keep researching down that line. See if there's anything that's a little bit more cost effective than brewing a bunch of potions with materials that Lilith assumes are not going to be easy to get her hands on.
At the very least, not cheap. Well, you've burned 6 hours so far in your day. You have about a half a day left, a little more than. You just gonna keep pushing down that direction?
Yep.
Okay. Make another Arcana check.
Really good this time. That's a 24.
Okay. So, with Callista's expertise in magic, the consideration for this is one, having a item enchanted that will bolster your mental defenses against mind altering effects, which is not a particularly uncommon concept or item. I'm sure if you even talk to Titan, he's probably either heard of some or even has a rough idea of how to make one. You would just need, again, the ingredients to do so. But by the end of that, Callista also kind of begins tiptoeing into a territory of, well, you focus quite a bit on the mind alteration, but it doesn't necessarily fix the possession, aka you've made contact with the ghost, the amulet has anchored the ghost to you, it is taken over, which is bad. But what happens if it is attached to you, you manage to resist it, but then you also don't want to keep it? To which she begins talking about the other side, less enchantment and mind alteration, and more along the physical versus metaphysical side of ghosts and spirit nature of spirits as well in this particular conversation, in ways to perhaps create a barrier or a way to shunt them out should you perhaps get an unsavory passenger.
Is still taking notes and trying to kind of draw conclusions to like some of the stuff she was doing earlier with Bellathor, where kind of putting him to sleep for a little bit for both their sakes. The idea that if she gets good enough at it, she might be able to do that to somebody who isn't willing, or at least contain them for a time. That being said, that's like 8 hours of just sitting there thinking real hard.
It is, with voices talking at you in your head. It is in its own way extremely exhausting.
So I think she's going to call it there for that first day, because that's a lot. She'll do her drawing blood, turning it into spell ink. I feel like there was a check for that, but I don't remember what it was.
Give me a second. Just gotta find my note. Let's see. Like with everything, it is a crafting check. So it's going to take you 2 hours. But instead of costing materials, it just costs you hit dice.
She only needs common magical ink, so
1 hit dice.
Yep. I forget what check it was. Was it Arcana?
It is a yes, it is an Arcana check.
That should be plenty. 21.
Yep, plenty.
Great. With all that done, she's gonna have her brief chat with Covert and then make her way to the White Cross Company.
Okay.
Materials in hand.
Just hold out all the materials. So I have an idea. Help me.
Pretty much.
Well. Well, you get to the White Cross Company camp. You ask the posted sentries where Captain Silver is. To which you were told Captain Silver is unavailable. She is not currently within the camp's boundaries. She's out on a mission. If you reveal to the sentries what you're looking for, they can attempt to send you in the right direction.
She will. She was told that some of their subordinates might be able to help.
Well, the 2 sentries sort of sit there and they consider for a moment. And they pick through their brains as to who might be good suggestions. Out of everybody that they can manage to drum up, there are 2 choices. One, a familiar name, which is Private Evening Glow, the gnomish crossbolter that you previously had a mission with, or to go back to the quartermaster and ask the quartermaster, who, if cannot help you, might then be able to know somebody else that is more than capable.
So try Evening Glow. The quartermaster scares her.
He's nice. He just cares about his equipment. But
you fostered some camaraderie with Evening Glow.
Yeah. Evening Glow can be found on the far side of the training grounds, where it's a small kind of cordoned off area that is used for ranged weapons training. You've been there before. And enough White Cross Company members will sort of, you'll ask, oh, Evening Glow, yeah, he's down there. And you'll eventually get down there where you see Evening Glow is set up with his enormous crossbow. You see him fire a shot, kind of swear gnomish, and then kind of lower it down on the ground, and with a tool belt goes over to the side and begins making a bunch of adjustments. He's clearly just fine-tuning his equipment.
Evening?
Lilith. Yeah, it's an evening, all right. Can't speak to its fineness, but you here to, practice some shooting too?
Not today. I actually had a favor to ask you.
Me.
Or a
Okay.
trade, maybe.
Trade. Okay. I'm listening.
I'm looking to get a scroll made for a spell that I don't have access to, but I need for a item that I'm trying to craft. I was
Okay.
told that you might be able to help.
Okay. I know some spells, and I make spell scrolls on occasion. I'm willing, considering even.
It's called Seeking Projectile.
You just see him like blink. Yeah, no, I know it.
Okay, well, I have all the materials, so obviously I'm not going to make you pay any of them. I suppose the question is, for the time it would take, what can I do to make it worth your while?
No, I hadn't really thought something like this would land into my lap.
Alternatively, I could just give you some silver, hopefully less than what the merchants would charge me.
Well, if I'm a moderately, decent individual, it'll definitely be less than what they would charge you. All right, well, I'll give you two options, and you're definitely going to take the road more traveled because it's way easier, which is if you have a healing potion, I'll take that off of you. Otherwise, 70 gold. Silver. What am I saying? Got alchemy on the brain, clearly.
Lilith looks over her things. Does not have a rank 1 healing potion.
Well, la di da.
2 and a rank 4. She will pull out a simple injury poison. Would you take some poison?
How good is it?
It's simple.
You have a rough estimate on the market value?
Out of character, I think it's about the same as a first level healing potion.
Great question. Let me, as I often do on downtime sessions, constantly keep scrolling through my gigantic PDF of information.
Simple injury poison is worth 40 gold according to the crafting table.
Buying level 1 potions, or at least selling a level 1 potion, was 50 gold. Or it's gold. Sorry,
so, yeah, silver. But also, yeah, selling them is going to be at cost. Buying them is going to be from the merchantry way more expensive. So, but the poison by now, value wise, is significantly less than the healing potion would be. How about the poison and 20 silver?
Sure, deal.
All right.
She'll hand it over along with 20 silver.
Mm-hmm. He'll just shove it all into one of the big belt pouches that's sitting on the ground nearby with a bunch of tools sticking out of it. When do you need it by?
It'd be nice to have it by tomorrow, but it's not a huge rush for me either way. Whenever it's convenient for you.
All right. I mean, I could probably have it to you by before noon tomorrow.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Yeah. Sure. No problem. Do you want me to bring it to you? Do you want to come get it? Do you want me to have it run to you?
I'll swing by around noon.
Okay.
Or if you happen to be at the noon meeting, I'll just grab it there.
I can make a point of being there.
Either way.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else?
Nope, that's all for me. Thanks.
Oh.
Have a good evening.
Okay. Yeah, you too. Bye. Yep. You can reliably say you have that scroll just tomorrow at noon.
Thanks. I think the only other thing would be what kind of ability check or whatever would it be if we wanted to break down one of the cores for an essence?
It is going to be a Tinker's Tools check.
Gotcha. That's something for Titan to do. Or maybe Audie.
I was gonna say, yeah, if Lilith is around camp, like I said, the first day, Audie's really just around the Greenwood space. So if Lilith's like, hey, I want this thing done, she would absolutely help.
Yeah, if Audie can get an uncommon essence out of one of those cores, that would help her and save her a lot of money because those are expensive.
Boy, she could certainly try. Tinker Tools. That's proficiency plus roll, right? Oh.
Yeah. What core rank are you attempting to extract from, Quinn?
I'll leave that up to the party. We've got 1 D and 2 Cs. What one do we feel like parting with?
We can part with them all. We're not gonna sell them, so.
As in, yeah, does the D rank, is it
If
a
the D rank
higher?
gets it for you, then
Yeah.
you could just go with the lowest one that you need.
Well, given that no one has actually attempted to extract an essence from the cores yet, nobody has an idea as to the range.
Well,
so
then Audie
you could
would
attempt to
definitely
extract
try.
an essence from a D rank and find out what it gives you.
Yeah, as in the Audie would definitely try with the lowest one, especially if she'd be like, well, I don't want to mess up something expensive to start with. So yeah, Audie would attempt that.
Okay, yeah.
Since it's new, I'd probably switch out my ghost knowledge to
Ooh.
Tinker's Tools just to aid.
So that's advantage, and it's just proficiency, or is it like intelligence?
It's plus intelligence. Yeah.
Okay. Where did my proficiency? So 2 plus 3, so plus 5 with advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, that's a 15.
Okay. A 15 means that there are no blunders during working with the core, which is the good news. Because tinkering with it, Audie, you would kind of come to the conclusion that while attempting to extract an essence from it, essentially the power from the core itself, separating it, they are a little unstable.
Mm-hmm.
And you think if someone not skilled enough in this or without help, as you might have found out for yourself, this could go poorly. Probably in the sense of it might explode.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, just super important consideration going forward for anyone else that is going to attempt to extract anything.
Yeah, she'll kind of get partway through it, stop and go, we shouldn't be doing this in camp. This was a bad idea to do in camp.
I don't think we can stop right now.
No, certainly not. Next time, probably shouldn't do this in camp.
Agreed.
Yeah, that was gonna be my question. If the threshold was low enough, I was gonna go, so where are we working on it?
Yeah, my thought was that they're probably not like sitting around the fire, but they're maybe 50 feet outside of camp, kind of a space that no one would step on them.
I mean, inside a tent seems like a more reasonable choice.
Also true, especially if it's raining.
It isn't today. Just clouds full of barrels. Hang on. I'm finding my list. So many lists. Having a go of finding the thing I need. Okay. So, you spend 2 hours working on the core. A 15 is the minimum success you needed to extract an uncommon essence from it. Specifically, an uncommon arcane essence.
Yay.
Perfect. This is exactly what I need.
I'm glad to help. It's a new experience. Something I tried before.
Yeah, now we know. Thanks. Let me know if I can help you out with anything at any point. I am moderately good at many different things. And I think Titan's mostly busy hammering at the forge.
Well, if the kids around here get too rambunctious, I might get them to chase you, and whoever can find you is going to get a pie from Daisy or something. Tires them out much quicker.
I will happily hide from a bunch of children. I think that is the last thing Lilith is doing today. That was a very full day for her.
In which case, we have Adi. So you clearly spent 2 hours helping Lilith.
Mm-hmm.
Rest of the day is just kind of catching up, helping around camp. Anything specific or special?
Nothing out of the ordinary. Like I said, she's resting. She didn't get hurt as much as Roz and them, but she's probably a bit achy, and she wants to catch up. Like I said, hear the gossip, what's been happening while they've been gone. Yeah, playing with children, sending them on tasks. Giving some of the other adults a break.
All right, just make a persuasion check for me. We'll see what kind of gossip you managed to shake out.
I'll take it. It's a 28.
Wow.
I rolled a 19.
Yeah, it's really good. So you get the same sort of stuff your mom informed you on, which is the League of Phantoms came back. They found a group of survivors that are composed of a bunch of different settlements and villages and towns along the Merchant's Path on the west side of the Titan's Horn mountain range, that have been brought together and are being led by Rorkin, a Shalseer copper. Several of those refugees, but mostly those who are unable to fight and children, are being sent to the camp here to be cared for. And they're expecting that anytime now. And within no one's sure about the numbers. You hear the numbers kind of go up and down, but given the secondhand information, you're more likely to trust your mom than a lot of the rumor mill. But it's anywhere between 200 and 2,000. But you're more likely to believe it's closer to 200 to 300, which is still a lot.
It nearly doubles the camp. Or
the camp is close to about 500 occupants right now. It's been steadily it's been steadily growing. Yeah, but yeah, this is not a small sum.
50. Yeah, adds 50% more. Yeah.
But the other things that are a bit more interesting that you get there are little, again, rumors that are floating around that amongst people in the camp, especially a small handful, anywhere between 3 to 6 different individuals, again, all rumors, all unsubstantiated, several of them have developed unusual abilities or have become exceptionally stronger than they were before they arrived at the camp. You think people are talking about individuals that, much like yourself and your friends, have gone through an awakening.
Okay. So that 3 to 6 doesn't include who's in Greenwood, but other people.
Well, one of the names you did hear was Viren's.
Okay.
That's because Viren was one of the first, and he is quite well known around the camp. Not necessarily in good ways. Again, depends on who you talk to. Mercenaries speak well of him. Average, ordinary villagers, not as much. They think he's a little scary.
Yeah. And I think if any of them seemed like genuinely terrified, Audie would put some of her knowledge of him from Greenwood, just be like, "Oh, he's not gonna bite. I mean, unless you like needle at him or like, you know, he's generally a decent guy.
As
If
far
a
as
bit
the
short on
Varen,
temper."
you knew, he was extremely mild mannered. They've
Yeah.
never had a mean bone in his body. Even when he was drunk, he was a friendly drunk.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, she'd be like,
yeah,
it's the stress of the situation. He's just on edge. You're fine. It's the strong silent type, you know.
Okay. Anything else for day one for Adi?
Yeah, she was going to be, or rather, the Black Butterfly was going to
Going to
be doing
go
a
perform?
performance.
Okay. Sure. This one's easy peasy. Make a performance check.
Right.
There's always a need for entertainment.
24.
Really good. Roll for me. 2d12.
First D12. I forgot what it looks like. I've never played someone that needs a D12 before.
It's like a D20 but smaller.
Yeah, with less.
Right?
It's a d20 with less sides.
6 and a 7, so 13 if you need them added together.
I do. And now roll 2d6.
That one I'm very familiar with.
D6 is easy.
1 and 2 for 3.
All right. Well, in a weird, skewed way, you do well. People are enthralled by the Black Butterfly, and are always excited to see you. You make 15 bits, but 130 silver.
Wow.
You definitely think there's something to be said that Covert's influence in acquiring mercenaries out of those that were previously not mercenaries, and then having them go out on missions, paying them, the economy that he's built in the camp is you're starting to see take an uptick. More people that came here with nothing are now have money, and enough of it to throw at an entertainer that they enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
But it is also worth mentioning that about half of that silver was delivered in a small wooden box by a large black scaled dragon eye in heavy armor.
As a player, I'm really curious when this encounter is going to take place. I am eager for it and probably unprepared, but excellent.
Mm-hmm.
So you said black dragon eye, right?
Yeah, a black dragon eye and black scale mail with a large greatsword. You've seen this dragon eye around camp a few times.
Oh, sure have.
They act as a bodyguard for somebody.
Usually with a little halfling.
Not so little.
I guess not little. They're about the same size.
Well, as you maybe, yes. Actually, probably twice as two oddies even.
Yeah, are Florin especially tall?
No, he's just extremely heavy set.
Oh no, yeah, I meant height.
You're half gnome, half human, so you're probably approximately same height.
4 and a bit, yeah. I have it written down somewhere. Okay. Okay.
Is that how Audie ends her evening?
Yeah, I think she would probably be about ready to go have a rest by the time she's done performing and you know, being her flirty self. And remember, it's not profiteering if people give you money voluntarily. She could technically perform for free.
Well, the Daisy's not paying you.
Exactly.
The money you make is it's in tips. So technically speaking, you're doing it for free. You can't stop people voluntarily handing you money.
Exactly.
Okay. To which I ask, it's the end of day 1. Does anybody have anything that they need to bring up before I end the day?
Nope.
Sorry. Go ahead.
There's nothing. I was just saying no.
I heard a no.
Okay. For however much time Titan isn't spending on smithing, that's how much time Roz is spending on trying to cook. Titan
Fair.
was reading for 2 hours, I think.
Yeah.
So that's how much time Roz is putting into cooking.
Okay. Then I just need you to make me a flat wisdom check to see how well you take to Lucilla's teaching.
16.
16, pretty good. So on your sheet, mark a 1 out of 20.
You got it.
And of course, Lucilla is more than happy to teach Roz some cooking skills. She starts with the basics, really simple stuff. She doesn't even go into recipes, just prep work, knife skills, keeping clean.
This is how you avoid cutting your finger off.
You're not always going to be wearing armor.
Can I wear armor?
No.
Why not?
It's a bitch to clean.
Well, the armor that I'm wearing can't get dirty.
She seems dumbfounded at that and then says nothing more about it.
Lucilla just says, well, you can't, because I said so.
It's so unsanitary.
Little bit.
That was the only notable thing I had.
Okay. So Titan's done, Roz is done. Love, Melody, anything else? Can we move on to the next day?
I'm good to move on.
Okay.
Quick question.
Yep.
Just for my notes.
Mm-hmm.
The person that the Dragon Eye is guarding, do we know them as, like, do we know who they are, or just that they've shown up? I don't remember. Do we know them as the head of the guild?
Well, yes. Everybody knows that he's the one that runs this branch of the merchantry.
Yeah.
I think Roz has met him face to face. I think Roz is the only one.
Yes. I was going to say, Audie has seen him and, like, winked and laughed because she's dancing and performing. I don't think she's ever talked to him.
Yeah. But yes. Preston does not hide his identity and is in fact quite flippant about it. Because contrary to the general opinion of the merchantry and the price gouging that they enable, he's extremely generous with his money when it comes to tipping people for their services. Like waitresses, bar hands, even in the seductress. Like he brings chess as a tip. Yeah. So next day, day 2. And we know people have slightly more finicky things, but we definitely have people who have a bunch of dice to roll. We still just want to keep chipping away at that.
All right. First check is going to be a failure.
Oh.
10. That's okay. Titan can afford 1 failure with the hours he's currently putting in. We're not going to panic yet. The next one's a 21.
Success.
next one is a 23.
2 successes.
So I'll spend an inspiration to make that a 25.
Success.
And then the last one is an 18.
Which is also a success.
We've had 4 successes today.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's Titan.
Okay. Roz, you have a little wiggle room. Are you still just smithing, cooking?
Yeah, just smithing, cooking, and other non-mechanical stuff.
Gotcha. In which case, wisdom check for the 2 hours of cooking with Lucilla.
This one's an 8.
Okay, so no progress, but Lucilla is patient.
It's going to take a while.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Lilith, you will acquire your scroll.
Yeah. Some non-roll things, since she has until noon before she can actually get started on her craft.
Yeah, true.
In the morning, she goes and takes her free bath because,
Of course.
yeah. And she will spend one section of the morning continuing to work with Callista. Brainstorming.
To what end? What is the focus? Is the focus of anything that has already been discussed, rather?
I think she's interested in connecting the what they had already worked on with the idea that maybe she can, if something does get attached to her, she can kind of put it to sleep if needed.
Gotcha. Okay.
Arcana?
Our Arcana. The DC has increased.
18.
Okay. Just enough for a success. You spend more time with Callista. You continue to refine the idea. Callista comes up with a series of ideas in terms of what is the beginnings of an arcane formula. Essentially a step down from it being an applicable spell. But it's still all theory because in her current state and in your current state, neither of you would be capable of casting it. But it would essentially be a much more minor effect of a much more powerful spell Callista's heard about. And to that end, you can now spend time essentially crafting the spell formula, and then upon your own discretion, finding somebody you trust that you think is powerful enough to employ it to help you either write the effect to then maybe use the scroll to enchant an object, or to have the scroll in a situation in which case you think you might need it. Again, probably still a eject button for someone else to hold on to.
Gotcha. And I am assuming, considering this was Callista's magic, using her formulas, this would be an occult formula.
It would be.
So I would need to find somebody with similar powers to Callista.
Yes.
Or modify it.
Yeah. Occult spells do overlap a little in terms of ideology with a couple of other spell types, which I just use as a quick reference based off of the essence extracting table. Which basically any other class that shares the occultist essence can be done with. They could then be converted. In the other direction. I'm losing my words.
Oh. I think occultist is actually just any.
Oh. Damn it, Kibbles. guess they are in that weird place where they do kind of do everything too. In which case, you and Callisto would have to decide the development of the formula in terms of it being either arcane, divine, or primal.
But that would be a further check later.
Yes.
For now, Bath, go to the meeting, and then she has to buy an uncommon primal essence.
Okay.
Which I'm assuming is going to be decently pricey.
Oh yeah. If you're just going to go buy it from the merchantry with no negotiation whatsoever, I can give you the price.
She's fairly sure if she tried to negotiate, the price would go up. So she's just going to bite the bullet.
Okay. In which case, hang on, I need my calculator because I'm bad with fractions. $225 silver.
That's not too bad.
Fine, 300 silver.
Nope, no takesy backsies. Already put the silver down.
Whispers around camp is that we're not charging enough for our essences. Oh, okay. Better raise the price.
In which case, she has all of the material she needs. Now she just needs to spend 12 hours crafting over a day and a half, assuming those are all successes.
Yep. A couple of assumptions there, but it's doable.
It's 6 checks. Arcana with DC 15. So considering we're already halfway through this day, she's going to do 2 checks. I think today. Oh, it's noon. She'll try 3 today.
Yeah. 3 sounds reasonable in my head in terms of not overextending yourself.
Yeah. So, number 1 is a fail, so I'm going to use inspiration.
All right.
Much better. That's a 17 plus 6.
Yeah, definitely a success.
Number 2, wow, that rolled for a while, is a total of 17, which is also a success.
And third?
Wow, okay, yeah. Third one is just 17 plus 6.
Oh, nice. Wow.
3 successes. I did have to use my last inspiration, though.
Well, yeah, but I mean, scared yourself a little in the beginning, but then the dice were like, all right, sure.
Gotta be careful. If I fail 3 times in a row, all the materials are wasted.
Oh, yeah. Good news is no one's come close to that yet.
Yeah. But that is Lilith's day too. She gets dinner, does other miscellaneous downtime things, relaxes, spends time with Roz, maybe goes and eats some of that food she's cooking.
That's fair.
Cooking it, someone might as well eat it.
Anybody, whoever's quicker, roll me a percentile die.
79. Yes.
I couldn't find my D10.
Thank you, Ben. All right. In which case, a large part of oh, actually, before I get ahead of myself, Melody. Let's
Yes.
Melody, day 2.
Yeah. I had something for today. Oh, right. At the beginning of the day, before everybody ran away and wandered off, she was going to approach the party at some point with a couple of ideas and kind of ask their opinion on what would aid them in the missions coming up, probably. Just while try to use some of the spells that captain? No, it's not a captain. Sky.
Sergeant Sky.
Sergeant. Thank you. Tried to use some of the spells that Sergeant Sky had taught me, and it worked on with him, but it just weren't working. So, just been trying to come up with ideas. He'd always said that if you could think it or you can feel it reach out in your bones, you could probably make it happen. But Anyways, I was thinking it's possible that maybe I could make something just so hot that it becomes ineffective. We're dealing with a lot of metal here. Or there's a possibility. My dad used to say that I could hit a note so shrill that split somebody's eardrums. Maybe it's possible I'd just split the pieces inside it. Do you guys have any other thoughts? Just want to be helpful, you know.
Help Audie pick a spell.
Basically, she's deliberating between heat metal and shatter.
Right. Well, basically, the majority of enemies that we fought so far are metal. So, is either method that you've picked better for destroying a metal enemy?
I haven't tried it, but I was thinking that if I could shriek at them loud enough that it might be good against them, but I won't know until I actually try. On the other hand, that one will help somebody who's all flesh and blood too. Or there's something fierce. And I suppose you can always heat up the armor. A weapon is something somebody's carrying, but what if they're not? What if someone like Lilith and running around in leathers? You can't really heat up that.
Yeah, I think of those two, I'd probably go towards the tricky thing, just because it seems like it'd be useful all the time, unless, I guess, we're fighting something that doesn't hear.
Yeah, it's possible people can, won't have magic of silence and it, and you won't hear a thing, but it's kind of what I was leaning to.
And I mean, if they're casting silence spells, they're probably not wearing metal anyway.
That's also fair. And also, I imagine that if we're silent, it'll make you double effective and they'll be dead before they finish anyway.
Well, Melody Albrecht, it is your path to glory, but I will say there is something good to tell in tales about a woman with a voice so powerful that when she shrieks, her enemies blast to pieces.
So that's the thing. There was something I'd never actually seen it happen, but the last time I was in Harbour, they talked about there's this woman that she could sing so clearly that they had to put away the wine glasses before she did, or else it'd all shatter at the table. That's kind of what I was thinking.
You can do better than that. A woman's legendary? Fine, do even better. They don't get time to put away the wine glasses, just shatter them where they are.
We should have them clear in the kitchen too.
Yeah, you'll be the Siren of Greenwood.
Kind of like that. I never really had a siren in the lake. Right, you settle it in. Well, I'm gonna go practice that today, and hopefully not break anybody's eardrums. I'm gonna take the pieces of the core that we used yesterday, Leonard, and I'm gonna try and practice against that. Tinker it into something.
Oh yeah, fair warning to the two of you that weren't working on that. If you mess up trying to extract essences from these things, they're probably going to explode.
Yeah. We're lucky we still have a tent and a camp.
Yeah. And all my stuff.
Yeah.
So, wait, just for a second. You're telling me that the cars are explosive.
Potentially?
If
Can we
handled it.
weaponize that?
That seems like Titan's alley.
I mean, I could probably work with him. I mean, my dad did navigator's tools, but still fine work.
Food for thought. I think we're all a little busy as is. My hands are blackened and calloused right now.
How's your endeavor into cooking going? Make some edible.
Blacksmithing is so much easier than cooking. Way less dangerous.
Well, just because if you heat it up to 500 degrees, the metal might not care. The food certainly will.
Right, I got my temperatures mixed up when I was cooking with Lucilla the last time, and you should see what happened to that lobster.
Mm-hmm.
I should see what happened to the oven. Putting forge temperatures in a cooking oven.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised that it was able to get that high.
It cracked the oven.
Oh no.
Lucilla's a very patient woman.
Mm-hmm. A saint, one might say. Well. Melody, are you happy with your decision?
Yes. I was just about to go in and add it, unless you already have.
Nope.
Okay.
Out of character. Hard choice. Both incredible spells, especially for this campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I figured that Shatter will have more utility later on if we're not meeting things that are metal or metal inclined.
I mean, and even then, later on, you can also just change it out too.
True.
Shatter also gives us some AoE outside of Titan's breath weapon.
Yeah, which y'all need desperately.
Also true.
We're really good at focusing down a single target.
I'm about to say, yeah, the first wave mission I'm gonna give you guys is going to be a thing.
It's certainly going to be some.
Yep.
We should meet back up, I don't know, in a day or so. Figure out what mission we're going on next. Maybe we can go do that totem.
I think I'll be ready by then. All rested up.
Well, I'm gonna go get crafting. Roz, if you create something edible, let me know and I'll try it.
At this point, it would take a miracle, but I'll let you know.
I trust Lucilla to provide one.
Just come by for dinner. There will be something that I probably didn't cook.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Melody, the remainder of your day.
Yeah, the remainder of her day is going to be spent. Like I said, she's going to take the core and tinker it into something useful. For some reason, I thought there was something, I was looking for that in like gnome cunning or something that you can create simple little doohickeys.
Well, yes, but manufacturing a core into a bomb is not a simple doohickey.
Oh no, she's not doing the bomb. She's taking the depleted D core so that she can practice her spell a little bit. She's going to spend the day trying to really solidify that.
I mean, sure, it's basically like a ball of glass. That's all that's left of it after you took the essence out of it.
Okay. If for some reason I thought there were metal components to it.
Well, that really ultimately depends on how they were extracted. And given that they were all successes, I mean, if you wanted the housing around the core, you could have kept the housing. And I just assumed it was purely the cores.
Yeah. Although that's true. It is the cores she's looking to shatter. So yeah. But yeah, she'd be kinda doing that.
Yeah. Fair warning. It makes an extremely loud sound. Someone's gonna come check up on you. Probably the perimeter guard.
And she's just gonna be like, "Yay, I did it."
Yeah. Let's just say, yeah, you have a momentarily like tense standoff with a couple of White Cross Company guards that are on the perimeter patrol in the area you're testing out the shatter spell in, and they come rushing over to see because they think, you know, the camp's under attack. But
nope, just me.
Yeah, you defuse the situation.
Ah.
Uh-huh. because we're talking about, not bombs.
Mm-hmm.
Remainder of your day, Melody, past. So you picked your spell. You go and play with it a little to better understand it, practice it, to get it to work properly.
Yeah. She'd have dinner with her family.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, maybe help out medical tents. Go for a walk. Kind of more lazy stuff. But again, there would be some sort of a performance tonight.
Okay. How late?
Maybe practice.
Like night or evening? Basically, is the sun up or is the sun down?
I would say probably after sundown because she likes to help put the kids to bed.
Okay. In which case I have a thing before we do your performance check, but we've kind of sauntered past our break time, so we're going to do that now and come back in 10 minutes. So see you in 10. And we're back. Verifying. Okay, we're back. Okay, so we've left off. We're on day 2, mostly through the day. Just a couple of little things on Audie's end to tie up. But before that, and thanks to a completely random dice roll, again, the camp, for the most part, has been relatively quiet. It's preparing for an influx of new faces brought over by a recently discovered settlement. And so infrastructure is being put in place, of which pretty much all of the skilled artisans and laborers that have skills in that area, including several of Greenwood's very own, are helping prepare for this and upgrading the camp as a whole. So well overdue and much appreciated by many, especially since there's been a break in the rain and providing this opportunity to do it without a bunch of people being miserable and having to do so. Everyone else, everybody in the party are keeping busy. Many things to craft, many things to think about and prepare for, futures yet unknown and threats yet unseen. And as the sun begins to set on this day, the splendid view, I can't speak, splendid view, there's not a T in it, to the south, shifts the colors of the sky into oranges and reds and yellows. And it is the first call from a sentry in the distance of alert to the camp that brings almost everybody out to see what it is. And it isn't before long that bells are being rung and people are going around, responders trained to prepare the camp in case of an attack, an imminent attack, begins preparing people to go to their places to be ready for what is an unknown entity approaching. This large, shadowy mass on the horizon being blotted out by flying against the setting sun. Many people gather and ready themselves. The camp is built to be able to withstand an attack from the outside, but an aerial attack is a whole different problem. That being said, there are individuals in the camp that are ready for such a situation, and even if some people in the camp don't necessarily get along with them, responses from various groups, like the Tyrants, are well appreciated in scenarios like this. But as this mass gets closer, and it continues to grow in size, there is a point when the visual clarity for those that have the ability to see it, it goes from a dark mass and begins to take on a glinting color, one that reflects the lights of the setting sun and turns it seemingly into a glowing figure of radiance, glimmering copper scales, an immense dragon flying towards the camp, and now much closer, surrounding it, close to over 24 smaller copper dragons. They come in with such force that you can feel the shift of the wind and smell the sea salt from the ocean carried in. Initially, they make a pass by, and the enormous copper dragon, the size of a small mountain, lands in the great distance. When it makes contact with the ground, everyone's feet, the earth underneath them, vibrates briefly. It stands there, observing the camp from a distance. And then one by one after that, about a dozen of the smaller copper dragons land on the outskirts of the immediate perimeter of the camp. Now much closer and easy to observe, you can see that these smaller dragons, by no means small, probably the size of a house on average, a cabin from Greenwood even, they are equipped with a very interesting set of gear, leather straps, bronze bolts and belts, and hanging from these contraptions are individuals clad in copper-colored armor with similar draconic features emblazoned upon it. Several of them land and create their own perimeter, and it becomes very clear that two individuals that land on one side of the camp that is much more open land, and a group of 10 vaulters walk into the camp. Anyone actively following it can very easily see that they go to the center, where they are met by a handful of individuals now that the general sense of what is here is calming down the nerves of the camp from what wasn't previously an unknown threat. Covert does the initial conversation, and you can see with him the roosters that you all rescued. They exchange a brief conversation, and partway through, 4 of the vaulters that were with them, out of the 9, split off after Covert makes a gesture in the direction of the west side of the camp where the refugees are situated. And these 4 vaulters, emblazoned in their copper dragon armor, lances strapped to their backs, walk through the refugee side of the camp until they find themselves amidst the steadily growing and now improving situation that is the Greenwood camp. It's about 7 o'clock. Who's back at camp right now?
Buddy would be.
Yeah, I think Lilith would be. Though she was, before they realized it was a copper dragon, she was definitely like grabbing her bow because aerial enemy.
That's completely reasonable.
I think Roz would have followed them here from dinner with the Bastion.
Okay. Well, the 4 of them arrive, varying shapes and sizes. Among them, just at a quick observation, an elf, a dragon eye, human on the shorter side. And then definitely one of them that has a couple of odd features that either places them somewhere between mer, person, and a secondary lineage that isn't easy to identify.
For a second, I thought they were all going to match our races.
But it doesn't take long for them to find themselves at the center of the Greenwood camp, of which they are greeted by the elders of Greenwood. And they inquire as to why the Lancers have arrived. The Wilders take point, supported by Lotus. And for those of you that have come out of your tents, weapons in hand, unsure as to what the situation is, now that the word is traveling around, and you can see the vaulters in the heart of your camp to understand that there is not a threat. They are friends. And then as when partway through, the Wilders look off to the side and would see Melody nearby, Lilith emerge from her tent, Roz on the outskirts approaching in their wake. And then with a hand would just beckon you forward. Once done, the elders would kind of take a polite step back. The vaulters will all turn towards those of you that have gathered. One will step forward and remove their helmet, revealing a Itasi elf, a forest elf. Bronze skin, similar in tone to the armor that he wears, hair that has been shaven quite short, but is beginning to regrow a bit on the top. There's a long scar traveling along the right side of their face, down along the length of their head. They tuck the helmet under one arm, and they kind of give everyone a once-over. Are you the ones that brought back the first scale from the rooster's nest?
That was us. Yeah. We found him, put him over my shoulders, and brought him back to your roost.
We were Valtyr's Vaulter Squad. He was given a separate mission, so he was split off from us for a time. We were told that he was given an opportunity to receive his burial rites, and that we don't have to worry about him being left behind in a place cold and abandoned. So we, as the Shalseer Tidebreakers, thank you. We're glad that we know he'll be able to rest.
You're very welcome, and my condolences for your companion.
They nod. But Rowan wouldn't have us not thank those who did such a great service for us. We've understood that you've already been paid for the mission you undertook and received a bonus for the contributions you did, but this is the time of war. Money is nice, but certainties are better. And they reach onto their belt where there is a small copper dragon emblazoned rod. It's probably about 8 inches long, pretty narrow in diameter, basically a baton. Takes it off his belt and then just holds it out for anyone to take. If you find yourselves in a situation, no matter where you are, no matter the environment, no matter the enemy, if you use this to press the button, it'll send up a flare that we can answer. So should you ever find yourself in a scenario where you are facing an insurmountable tide, we will come and break it for you. I'm sorry, what did you say?
Sorry, we had 2 members of Shalseer at our town when we were pushed out. I think we saw something big copper flare when they left.
We have a few. One is to summon dragons, transport, support. Ones like this, they're rare, because vaulters are summoned where we are needed. This is a gift for doing what you've done for us. No matter where you are, portals were open, and we will come.
All right. Roz will take the rod and thank you very much. promise not to abuse it.
You only get one.
Make sure it counts then.
All right. Well, we've said our piece, given our thanks. We have places to be. Good luck out there. Hopefully you survive to see the end.
Same to you, Tidebreaker.
And the four vaulters will, again, they'll each sort of stop and thank you as they sort of process their way out. And then we'll return to the central group talking to Covert.
Just before they leave, Lilith will say, if you happen to run into Rourke, and let him know we're doing all right.
I think we're heading that way. If we see him, we'll pass it along.
Thank you.
I had a span over here. I'm in about 300 others.
The Shalseer regiment isn't here for long. About 20 minutes in total. But their departure is a bit of a, hubbub. Several people have come out of the camp. They definitely put on quite a show just by being there. Seeing a dragon in real life, a protectorate dragon in real life, is rare in this day and age. More common since the war started, but before that, unprecedented, basically. The Shalseer themselves their armor is decorated and made in such a fashion that they look like something of legend walking around. And so refugees, especially those that have not taken up weapons to defend and earn money for their families, take a moment to sort of gawk and whisper and talk and thank and appreciate, these people who have, for as far as history is concerned, been protecting them for a very long time. And then they depart. And in doing so, they kick up a small windstorm, especially with the departure of the largest dragon. And then as a gathered unit flying in coordinated patterns, they fly westward over the Emerald Boughs and out of sight.
Wow.
Yeah. The end.
Yeah, I don't think Lilith really has anything to say. I think she's just kind of speechless.
Huh?
I genuinely don't think Titan would have shown up. He doesn't like the coppers.
I wasn't sure if he would have made an appearance when he heard the rumbling and then went, oh, them. And
Once
walked.
he realized that it was coppers and the protectorate, he was just like, screw it. And, yeah, like I don't think Lotus would have forced him there because she figures he'd probably cause trouble.
Yep.
Part of me was even thinking like Titan might drink a potion just to go fight that protectorate dragon right now. Let's see what's up. No, but yeah, no, I genuinely don't think Titan was there.
All right, well, you're the one who took it. You keep that thing safe, Roz.
Yeah, I will. Roz, unlike the other two, does not seem odd. She actually seems very sad. Like, this is a reward for bringing back a dead person.
Mm-hmm.
And she feels bad that that's why she got the reward instead of bringing back a living companion. But she'll keep the rod safe.
Lilith doesn't have any other plans for the second day.
Yes. Time has passed. Sun is setting. Many are talking about the visit from the Shalseer, but time moves on. I suppose I think we just have Adi for the remainder of the evening. Another performance.
All right. See how she does tonight. She's a little off her game. That's a 14.
Mm-hmm.
Either that or everyone else is just so distracted that it doesn't matter what she does.
Oh,
Just kind of in the
the same old black butterfly. But there was a dragon here earlier.
The dragon, right? It kind of background noise for the night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but a 14 still not bad. It's not as dazzling as other performances, but it's still serviceable. I'm sure a word people would not prefer to be referred to as, but gets the job done. People are entertained. Mm-hmm. They are just perhaps, like I said, a bit more awestruck by the visit of the Shalseer. That being said, start off by rolling 1d10, please.
Okay. And I was going to say, because Audie did have some experience in Greenwood, she might have even muted it a bit herself. Just going, we're not looking to,
mm-hmm.
rouse anything tonight. 2.
2. Okay. You're going to make 20 silver. Roll a d6. 4 and 8 bits.
All right.
Okay. Anything else for day 2 before we close out?
If things seem kind of settled at camp, she might actually kind of swing by Lilith and just like, Lilith, do you happen to have any books? Any that you're not reading? I didn't know if you'd had a chance to grab any when we left Greenwood. I certainly didn't.
I didn't get a chance to grab any when we left, but I have a graphic novel that Roz bought me. If you want to read that.
I would want to take it from you. I'm sure you're not done reading it yet.
No, I've been slowly going through reading it with Roz.
I'll just take my notebook, do some drawing, and do some writing. I was going to go sit in the center camp for a bit, but I want to take someone with me today. Right then.
I'm free if you want any company.
I'll have company.
I just might... Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, just might not be much for talking.
It's fine with me. Lilith will grab her own journal and some writing stuff and follow Adi.
She was probably going to sit the bench that's like near Covert without being like at the desk with him.
Mm-hmm.
Was the one that he's often looking at us going, you guys don't understand low profile, do you?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of that space.
Yeah. It's also worth mentioning I sort of talked about it on and off, but again, in preparation for these arrivals, like the central lane of the camp is seeing a bunch of like rapid improvements, mostly because it is the most traveled, and with more people coming, there aren't any actual roads or anything like that. So people have been they've had masons working on making pavers essentially to create pathways for people to follow. Yeah, and more things are being added, benches along with canvas covers for people to be able to just be outside, and if it's raining, receive some cover or shade. Little things like that.
This war goes on long enough, this might turn into a town.
About to, yeah, this is how you get a town.
So towns are made.
So were you two doing anything while just sitting on the bench? You just reading and gawking?
I don't think Audie would be gawking, as it were.
Mm-hmm. Fine. Furtive glances?
Definitely that.
Well, insert Taylor Swift meme.
And Audie would kind of be chatting with Lilith a bit about like what happened earlier, the spectacle and what have you.
Lilith is happy to make small talk, even if she's horrible at small talk.
I'm sure it's fine. Well, you tell me when you're done, and I will end the day.
I didn't have anything explicit to talk about.
They have a nice chat.
Oh, that's nice.
And Lilith feels a little bit like a third wheel considering cards right there.
That's why Audie made a point of like not sitting at the desk and just being like, yeah, we're just, in the center of town. Enjoying the scenery.
She just decided to sit, right near where covert is instead of anywhere
Enjoying the
else.
scenery.
Yes, of course. Not weird at all. Mm-mm. Okay.
Maybe I was the only creepy 20-something-year-old that would frequent a store where like her crush
A cute
was.
person would be? Not at all.
Uh-huh. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think probably after a certain point, the unseen servant will also like bring you both over a tray of like tea and cookies. And then it immediately goes back to work because it's where it belongs. Anyway, I will take silences. Moving onward. Day 3. Let's chip away at some rolls.
All right, do some rolls.
Oh yeah, we got smithing to do.
21.
Very nice.
Disadvantage has been such a savior. I've rolled like a 1, 2, and 3 constantly, and then I got a much higher one for the advantage. Like it's been ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, advantage plus expertise, really good.
That's true. In fact, I've been doing the math poorly because I have not been including the expertise.
Oh.
That's okay, I've been succeeding anyways.
And
it would not have helped the failure.
Good.
Where was I rolling? 22.
Success.
16.
Oh. You want to keep it? That is a failure.
Let's use the inspiration on that.
Okay.
Okay. That is 25.
Much better. Another success.
And another 25.
Another success. Can we get 5 successes?
And a 21.
We can. Well, the good news
You've
is,
done it.
yeah, by the close of this business day, the plate mail will be finished.
Roz's plate mail is done.
At last.
Sorry it took so long.
Oh, don't be sorry. You did it in the first place.
Now watch as we go to the totem and we get +1 full plate armor.
Don't put that evil on Ben.
If we did, I would just transfer the +1 to the custom armor I made.
Yep.
Way it looks the way Roz wants it to look still.
Inventors.
Yay.
Well, looks like you and Roz are busy at the forge for a good chunk of the day. Because that is all 10 hours to get that done. Which means I would assume from both of you just the remainder of the 6 hours, as has been the habit, just, you know, daily existence amongst loved ones.
Mm-hmm.
Roz,
Showing off the new armor.
yeah. Does it also include 2 more hours of cooking?
Yeah.
Lucilla stops you from.
I would also just share a celebratory drink with Roz.
Nice.
That they finished. But otherwise, no, just normal existence.
Oh. Roz takes one sip of the drink and she makes a face.
What's the matter, kid?
That makes 2 drinks in a row. It just tasted skunky.
I drink some of his. Tastes normal to me, kid.
I don't know. It just doesn't taste right. Tastes like vinegar.
I mean, you used to drink the cheapest, most vinegary, disgusting drinks I've ever tasted.
I know, but this is just bad. I could drink it, I just don't like it.
I mean, Dr. Mode switches on a little bit. Have you been feeling all right? Other things tasting different?
I like carrots a lot more after being turned into a horse, but no, everything tastes the same otherwise.
Titan resists the urge to be like, stick out your tongue and say, ah. I don't know what to say, kid. Maybe you're growing up. People's tastes can change as they get older.
Maybe. Maybe drinking 4 healing potions back to back to back to back changed my taste buds.
They are pretty nasty.
And then throwing it up afterward.
Yep, and also pretty nasty. I know some people try to add, like, cherries to their healing potions, but to me it just makes it worse.
Well, I'm not worried about it. You have to drink and I'll drink some, like, I don't know. Not that.
Alright. Well, congratulations anyway. Glad we could get it done for you.
thank you very, very much. I am going to go impress my girlfriend with my new armor.
Titan nods. Be a good opportunity to learn how to take it off properly.
I'm sorry, what?
Take a point of inspiration.
That's great.
Nothing. I said have fun, kid.
Even you?
Titan just shrugs. Lotus and I ride bikes and gaze at stars all the time. It's part of being in a relationship.
All right, it's weird coming from you.
Then I'll leave it be. Go have fun.
I'm gonna go cool down by burning my fingers before I go see Lilith, because otherwise this is just gonna feel weird. Wish me luck, I don't crack the second oven.
You'll get it eventually, kid.
So sure about that. Even Lucilla's patience is going to end eventually. I don't know what happens when I piss her off so much she wants to kill me. I don't even know what she can do.
That's true enough. I don't think we've seen her fight yet.
One day. Right, well, I'm going to go burn something. Good luck stargazing with your wife.
Thanks.
And Roz will leave with her drink unfinished.
Titan will drink it.
Yeah, perfectly normal. Well then. Roz, you gonna go spend 2 hours cooking with Lucilla?
Yeah.
All right. Make that wisdom check.
Oh, 21.
Oh, very nice.
20 on the die.
Progress. It's probably because this time you have Pamaris there as well to make sure you don't break the patched oven.
Yeah, once it starts getting over 500 degrees, it comes over. Nope, nope, nope. Down.
Just comes over with a bathtub of water and just douses you and the oven every time. No, stop it.
Imagining Roz arriving every time with like her own bellows. No, you don't need bellows for this.
You've brought all the wrong tools. Okay. Well, so we know a lot of how Titan and Roz's day is going. Lilith, how's your day going?
Also crafting.
All right, you're working on your bracers.
Yep, we're at 3 out of 6 successes. Hope that we can finish this today.
Yeah, you want 3 more.
All right, well, she's just gonna keep trying and hope this finishes in 6 hours and not 10. So first check is failure. Oof.
Oh, big oof.
No inspiration left to spend.
Double oof.
Second one is a success. That's a dirty 20. It's good enough and resets the counter of failures. Third check is a 17. I think
Success.
It's
yeah,
DC 15.
Get 15. Yeah. So 2 more successes.
1 failure, 2 successes. So
Yeah.
fourth check.
I'm pushing for 8 hours.
Nice. Natural 19. That's a 25.
Very nice.
The bracers are finished. It took 8 hours, but they're done.
Now put them on and never take them off.
Yay! He didn't have to spend 1,500 silvers on them.
Basically. Oh, yeah, that's a lot of Roz's or Lilith's day too.
Yeah, I think after that she'll probably get a dinner at the Daisy, see if she can catch one of the butterfly shows she hears that she's been performing like every night.
Yeah, Butterfly, are you performing tonight?
She will be, but considering this would have been day 3, while she's around camp, she does see if Viren returns.
Okay. Your astute ability to gather intelligence by gossiping with people, does reveal to you that Viren and his group returned early that morning, before the sun was up. So it depends on when you go seeking him out. It is not unreasonable to assume he's probably gone to rest when initially coming back.
Yeah, she'd probably like mid-afternoon after the sit rep. And I guess it kind of goes without saying Audie would be showing up at the sit reps if they happen.
Yeah,
Every
yeah,
day.
they're still going. No big notes to really highlight. No news. But yeah, the meetings are held every noon without fail. Even if there is nothing to report. It's literally to just say there is nothing new to report. Thank you. Yeah. Well, last time you tried to look for Viren, he was kind of slippery. Stands to reason might be the case this time. Make a perception check.
You think she wouldn't camp outside his tent like a creep?
That doesn't matter.
That's fair. Perception, you said?
Uh-huh.
That's not awful. It's a 14.
Even camping outside of his tent, there is a point where his youngest returns to check to see if his dad is awake. You see he just darts past you, just runs into the tent, and then comes back out with like a slight frown. And then we'll look up at you and go, "Do you know where my dad is?"
Wait a bears. Are you serious? I've been meaning to talk to him, but I didn't want to wake him because, of course, he'd been out for the last 2 days. No, I don't know where he is, but I need to go looking for him. So if I find him, I'll let you know. Actually, I'll let him know that you're looking for him.
Okay, thanks. And he also runs off. Work to do.
Yeah, and she's probably then going to spend the next 2 hours, I'd say, looking for him. Not aggressively, like not like tracking someone, but she's gonna wander through camp and see if she can like find him.
Make another perception check.
That's worse. It's 12, 13.
Yeah.
12. Yeah.
In regards to just finding him in camp by, meandering around and covering ground, you don't find him. Viren seems pretty absent in terms of just being around.
Yeah. She kind of will sigh and go and leave a note at his tent, I guess. And it's just gonna be, hey, I just had some questions about you. I figured you might have, some answers. I'm not doing this justice. She'd figure out how to write it, properly. But kind of trying to, I don't know if you can persuade with a note, but basically just say, I'm not going to interrogate you like last time. I just had a couple of questions. Just wanted to catch up. And in her cheeky way go, and if you keep dodging me, I might start taking this personally.
Right. Okay. What about the rest of your day?
I think by then she would be helping out with dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, she would have been about 2 or 3 hours. So yeah, 5 or 6 o'clock she'd help out. Getting everybody fed, bringing her meal from the Daisy to share.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, then another performance this evening. Probably not as late, considering we were talking about picking up a mission for the following day. So maybe an 8 or 9 o'clock kind of thing.
Okay. Go ahead and just roll your performance check.
Okay. Eight, 17.
Okay. It's a good performance. People are entertained. You have gathering a small fan club in the camp. Roll 2d8 for me.
All right. Doing an 8 for 10.
Okay, roll 2d4 for me.
Two and a 4 for 6.
Okay. You're going to make 36 bits and 70 silver.
All right.
Of which 80% of the silver comes from your super fan.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, while you're up on the stage as the Black Butterfly performing, you do see amongst one of the tall stool-seated tables, Varen and his 2 kids sitting down having a family meal.
And she'll give a big grin about that because she thinks it's absolutely adorable how attentive he is to his family when he's around. Yeah. And I think before she'll leave the performance and probably circle around and grab a drink herself, she would, I guess, probably when the box is delivered, or is it just placed up while she's doing her set?
It's placed up while doing the set.
Okay. Yeah, she'd probably if she can make her way over, they're just at their own table kind of thing.
Who you going to?
To the Black Dragon Eye.
Yeah, the Dragon Eye is standing behind Preston, who is at the largest table in the Daisy with a bunch of other people sitting down around the table. It's always like a small party going on here.
Yeah, she would approach him then.
Yeah, even before you like get too close, within 10 feet, you can see the Dragon Eye says something down to Preston. Preston's attention swings from the table where he's loud, he's boisterous, he's entertaining. But then he just sort of throws up both of his big meaty hands, and everyone at the table immediately silences. And then he turns and he looks at you. Oh, the Black Butterfly, huh? What a performance. Great as always.
Thank you quite kindly. I just wanted to let you know, as you seem to be quite favourable of the arts, if you ever had a song that you wanted to hear, I don't know all of them, but I'd gladly learn them. Let me know.
Well, I didn't want to impose on you, but if you offer, I will take you up on the opportunity. I'll decide on a selection.
Very well then. Might be back here tomorrow, might be another 2 weeks.
Well, I eagerly await.
Yeah. And as she goes to bow, she just goes, "Ever does the butterfly flit."
And he just begins clapping, and then he looks down at the table, and everyone else slowly begins joining him. And you are sent off with an ovation.
Yeah, and she'll wander out. Like I said, she'll go stop her performance, kind of gather herself, and come in as Audie and get a cider at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of unintrusively kind of thing, um, give kind of like a nod and a toast to Viren, and just kind of enjoy the ambiance. Just rest out the night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the moment, Viren doesn't like make any sort of eye contact with you or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But over the course of while you're drinking, someone does pull up the stool next to you at the bar, and it is Viren. What do you need, Melody?
I just noticed you're kind of like, you're a bit different lately, and I've been feeling a bit different, and Roz has been seeming a bit different, and
Mm-hmm.
just trying to understand what your experience has been like. It's a bit unsettling.
Mm.
I don't hate it, but it's something to adjust to. So that's all. Just looking for a connection.
Just looking at him, two things super stand out to you. One, his skin tone has dramatically dropped. Before, he used to be quite suntanned. He's outdoors. He's hunting all the time. He is now very pale. He's still got color to him. It's not like deathly pale, but like where he once was sun-kissed, he's no longer. Like he's spent the last month inside, which you know he hasn't. Two, and much more noticeably and maybe a little off-putting, the color of his eyes have changed to purple, and his irises have become like starbursts, like 4-pointed starbursts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, things have changed since being here, since taking up weapons to make money and fight. I've gotten stronger, I've gotten faster, senses sharpened. I have abilities that I didn't have before. Things that I've observed similar in you and Roswin and Lilith and even the Doctor. It's a strange phenomenon, to say the least.
I heard somebody call it being awakened. I don't really know what we're waking up from, but...
Oh, honestly, I don't care what it is or where it's from. It's helping me get where I need to be. Do what I need to do. That's all that matters.
Right. Just wanted to see if it was settling well with you. That's all. You're part of the village. Still part of the family.
Mm. Well, you're not the only one that's come and bothered me to check in on me and see how I'm doing. I've been a bit distant, but I'm just working. That's all it is. I've found I have a very specific set of skills that are now geared towards being able to kill people very well. So I've been banding along with either the tyrants or the phantoms on missions to go try to find things relevant to living, breathing gnomes to try to stop them and what they're doing.
Yeah.
What about you, Melody? Other than this, and he just sort of gestures at like his physical form, kind of, noting towards the thing you just brought up. What about how are you doing up here? And he points to his head. I'm sure it's not easy. You have a bunch of family you're uncertain about. We're fighting potential relatives, even. I'm sure it's not easy.
Now the kin part. I think that's been the hardest, honestly. Because you're right. They could be cousins. They could be nobodies. It's just confusing because these are places, these are people. If not specifically these people, but people in general that we'd go and see the vacation, right? Go seeing cousins and uncles, and even the twins. They were going to be going to set up shop in Isella. It's just a few months ago. So it's a bit unsettling to say the least. But otherwise, I think I'm doing all right. It's hard to say that though, but you know, you have to keep hoping. Alidate came back. Half the family is not even in Greenwood, so I have some hope for them. Sophia could survive in the woods for years on her own. Sure she would if she didn't want to see Mom. And Bawden, I think, was across the continent, so he might be lucky enough to avoid this altogether.
And I'm sure you've heard about the settlement of survivors that we discovered recently. There's a chance there's a bunch of people from Greenwood in there. We didn't really have a good opportunity to see everybody, talk to everybody. But there was a lot of them, so there's a chance.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold that hope. Even when other people are afraid to hope, I still will. Because you have to. It's almost like if you stop hoping, it'll die, just out of spite.
It's good to do, Melody. We definitely need somebody to do that, especially when it gets tough. Especially when things feel weird. He kind of leans onto the bar top, but closer to you. Between you and me, and the people I've been working with, it hasn't been reported to yet, because we can't substantiate any of it. But like I said, a lot of the missions I've been taking have been revolving around dealing with gnomish intelligence and controllers and operators. There's not something right about them.
Yeah, we killed the controller.
Yeah.
Or said it burst into flames and kept fighting her.
Yeah. But did you get a chance to talk to him?
I wanted to. I think I'd be really good at that now. You remember the rumors when I was a child, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's something to it. And I think I could do something about that now. But I didn't have the chance to talk to him. They ran away, fought us.
That's part of the problem. They're willing to fight until they're dead. They have no sense of self-preservation. Everything is thrown out for their cause. It doesn't matter what they have to sacrifice, including themselves, to make sure that even if what they were doing is a failure because we've arrived and dismantled what they were planning, as long as they can try to set us back even an inch at the cost of everything else, they'll do it. It doesn't matter if they die. They never negotiate for their lives, and we've offered them plenty of opportunities, and they always fight. Something about those in positions to control and manipulate and give orders, they seem crazed. But then the rank and file ones, the ones that will operate the heavy machinery, they seem more there. Still a little, a bit of a zealot in nature, but can be pushed, can be manipulated emotionally. Something's not right, Melody. That's all I'm saying.
Makes me feel a bit better. To know that, you know, that this just wasn't brewing under the surface to our neighbors, you know.
Well, I think it's worse that what is happening is, and that it seems so off. Because it could be that maybe they're not making decisions for themselves. One of the tyrants talked about the fact that this could be historically the most powerful enchantment of all of the history of the world, and they've somehow controlled one of the most mentally tough races, and no one would suspect that. Granted, that's way beyond me and my understanding of things. But who am I to, turn away crazy advice from somebody who's clearly seen a lot more of life than I have?
Planning on reporting it at any time. Could be very useful.
It's been in our reports.
Right.
Covert knows. He just hasn't released anything since, like I said, it's unsubstantiated. We can't prove anything yet. Nothing is so strange. The war itself is so unprecedented that they didn't see a point in trying to rationalize why suddenly people would turn like this up until we can prove it otherwise.
I'm going to tell the other 3, the other 4. They should know. I won't tell the rest of Greenwood, but they fought alongside me.
He leans back a little.
Unless you tell me a compelling reason not to.
Tell it to who you think it matters to. If it begins spreading in the rumor mill, so be it. Again, can't be proved anyway. Just I don't know, it might color people's opinions for better or worse. I don't know. It's too much thinking for me, to be honest with you.
I'll trust Covert to be smart with the information. I don't think he's keeping it secret to hurt anybody. Probably has his reasons. But Roz, Titan, Lilith, Grona, we're going to be staring him in the eye. So it's good for them to know.
He pushes back off of the bar and hops off the stool. He'll pat you on the shoulder. Good talking to you, Melody.
And you as well. If you ever want to hear a song to remind you of home, let me know. I'll pass it along.
Will do. And stay alive out there.
Absolutely will. And I'll try not to stalk you too much more when I'm back in camp. Just want to check in on you.
Well, you're quite shy at it, so it's fine.
I've noticed.
Another one of my gifts that I've developed.
That'll keep you alive. And she'll always be coming home to them. And she nods over at the kids, and as he would kind of walk that way.
Yeah. When he waves goodbye to you as he's walking away, the hand partially shifts to transparency and then goes back to being solid.
Kind of like a blur.
Kind of like,
or like an invisibility.
Yeah.
Cool.
Congratulations, you've officially confirmed one of the other heroes in the camp.
Woo.
Yeah. I will admit, I had a very fun thing where I took the total population of the camp after we'd run a few sessions, and then I just rolled a bunch of dice to determine how many awakens occurred within that total number of people. And then I rolled based off of how many numbers, and I rolled on the surviving villagers list. Viren was the only one amongst Greenwood that is awakened.
I was going to say, that's a very small number, I see. Only like 10 of us in total.
Yeah, if we include you all, which honestly is more impressive, that Greenwood's numbers are a little skewed. In the entirety of the camp, there's 10. Yeah, above table. Because I wanted to talk about it, and I think it's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. And again, just also above table, they all also have unique skills and abilities, and would make very good allies to make friends with if you can ever find them. Wink, wink, not judge. Maybe start a hero support group that might draw them out.
Is your body changing?
It's not out of the question. Titan is studying for almost exactly that purpose. He's studying about the hero gene so he can find them and see what can be done.
Titan is studying the secrets of the second Dragonite puberty in which they turn into a dragon.
Well, I mean, that is definitely his main study.
Tomato, tomato. Yeah, I mean, we're on the tail end of day 3. Final thoughts, words, concerns, do's, don'ts.
Just to round out the night, Audie would absolutely be going by to thank Covert for the tea and probably only stay about 5-10 minutes because she is absolutely beat. And that's it. Good night.
He'll entertain the conversation, but then adult you to bed.
She's going to start making it weird if he keeps acting like that. On purpose.
Decided we shouldn't let Covert influence us to act more mature. We should influence him to act less mature.
It's more accurate that Audie thinks he needs to lighten up just a little bit, but she understands professionalism. We're in a war.
And again, you haven't met his parents.
No, not yet. She's just heard rumors.
If elves are heavily influenced by their parents and the memories they get from them, it would make sense.
I just love Audie's confidence of, I'll meet his parents.
She's been invited as a +1. That's definitely not a date. Possibly.
So correct, but it was to a thing that doesn't necessarily include his parents, but you just so happen to look out that the parent that is alive is also going to be there.
I was going to say, he did mention, that it has to do with adjutants, and I thought he mentioned...
Nope.
Well, just that his cousins were adjutants. So, okay, that's fair.
Again, yeah, he does use a bunch of like familiar language for other types of adjutants, and depending upon their ages, so it does sort of have an implication that he at least talks about them like family. So it could be implied that
Audie's
one of his parents were one. That's fair. None of you are. Totally not going to be a problem later.
It's going to be such a problem.
It's going to be such a problem later. Yeah. I won't lie to you. I want to just get you guys with Crown of Madness. You guys are such great targets for Crown of Madness. It's crazy.
Don't I have advantage against... Oh, no, it's a charm. Lilith has advantage against that?
For now.
No.
I mean, even tonight you were like going on about how the toughest nation to possibly be mentally influenced is probably being mentally influenced right now, and I was like, oh, we are not a good party for the end game of this campaign.
Not even close. It's really bad.
That's why we've got all this silver to buy really good items.
I'm gonna be honest. Lula's not passing any wisdom saves after level 5, and I'm not increasing her wisdom unless it's the last thing to get increased.
Also, there's a good possibility that what happens is we go into the last fight and we take out this neat copper dragon rod that we've absolutely held on to for 50 levels and go, hey guys, we need a favor.
I'll be surprised if you get that far before using it.
That's true.
It is more of a mid-game item than a late-game item. Ideally, late game, you guys can just sending the Vaulter commander and get 100 of them dropped into one location instead of just 4. You know?
We know a guy at that point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we're talking late game. We're talking big tier stuff, big boy stuff. You guys are influential, worldly people.
We have a Horn of Valhalla, but it's for stealth here.
Yeah, Titans on the Terracon Council. We're talking big stuff by that level. Seriously though.
Well, for tonight.
Yeah.
Has nothing else to do.
Yeah.
I think he just wants a relaxing evening. He has worked hard the last 3 days.
Quite. Yeah, anybody else? If you haven't caught on, we are wrapping up. So I'm just trying to get the third day closed out.
No,
Nothing for Lilith. I think she's exhausted from all the crafting.
it's been a good 3 days of hard work.
Okay. And I dare assume Melody's done as well, because she said she was going to bed after seeing Covert.
She did. She
Okay.
will be going to bed.
Great.
I'm
Yeah.
now just trying to picture Titan not punching out the rest of the Terracon Council. Sorry.
I feel like he'd get along with them.
Fair.
I mean, he got along with one of them really well.
That's true. That is true.
And if anything, I'm going to be real honest with you. I'm looking forward to the first time Titan meets a Dragon Mother. I think that's going to be very interesting.
Oh my god.
The leader of Terracon. She started this. She is responsible for a draconic revival. And now her and a bunch of her sisters, because they freed a bunch. Thanks, Orphan Donner.
It wasn't me this time.
You guys also did a bunch of stuff
from this.
Oh yeah, it's like, oh, I mean, yeah, Orphan Donner made a draconic continent and were responsible for primordial dragons coming back into existence. Neat. You guys crashed the Feywild into the prime material plane and merged it together and reshuffled the Pantheon.
We also shunted a electric dragon egg into a fiery pit of lava.
Oh yeah, I mean, we don't talk about that very often, but oh, I know what happened to him. If you guys go to Terracon, you'll find out.
Magma lightning dragon.
Yeah, first of all, it's the first ever plasma dragon. Firstly,
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really dope, and I'm looking forward to you meeting Yolkeen, because I've named him and I've not been able to actually use him at all since then. He hasn't come up, but since young dragon shunted into the elemental plane of fire without any really understanding of self or anything else. You rampaged around, fought a bunch of magical fire elementals, eventually conquered a bunch of it, absorbed a bunch of fire energy into its lightning body, merged elements, and then eventually was found by Morgana and her sisters later. So, yep.
Neat.
It's a thing.
I mean, all of this is on Titan's path. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, like I said, the Terracon is like its own separate campaign even.
I'm sure.
Anywho, yeah, we'll close out the day there. People will go to sleep. If for some odd reason you need a long rest, go for it. And that's where we're gonna finish, because we're past 8 o'clock. So we're done today. And let's see, where's a good life lesson tucked away in today? Anybody got something for me?
Do not exceed 600 degrees on an oven.
Actually, I mean, I think most ovens and homes nowadays can actually kind of handle that. Ours does 550 perfectly fine.
Pizza ovens do 900, but clearly that's just a forge for a pizza.
It is a pizza forge, yeah.
Roz went over 1,000 degrees, and she didn't stop.
Yeah. Handmade clay oven, definitely not meant for that. Not if it's especially not prepared for that. All right, that's sure weird takeaway. Don't burn your food. Make good choices.
Kitchen safety is important.
Get fire extinguisher training, seriously. Go to your local fire department and ask. You should learn how to operate a fire extinguisher. This totally hasn't come up this week. It has.
Not from experience.
Not from experience, but just specifically the training. Go learn how to put out fires. It's neat. And firefighters are weirdly magnetic. Just saying. Anyway, see you next week. Bye.
Thanks for bringing out, chat. You guys are the
Bye.
best. Bye.